Okay, good morning, you guys. Um, Live chat. A couple minutes late today, and I might look like I'm looking down on you for my setup today, but we'll figure it out through the week. All right, so while I'm waiting for you guys to jump on here, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Brandaline Johnson. I'm a psychic medium, author, educator, spiritual life, and business coach. And I help people awaken to their spiritual gifts and support you through your spiritual awakening process. And so that's what I'm doing in this epic freaking week of paranormal, right? Free 5-day training on the dark side. So I'm so glad to have you guys joining. So many of you guys signed up. I knew this was exciting, but more people signed up for this than the last few things. So I'm really grateful to have you guys. If you haven't signed up already, hey, Isabel on YouTube. Hey, Shalina on Facebook. Hey, Nicole. If you haven't signed up yet, go to brandaline.com/paranormal and you'll get of this 5-day training. Today we're going to talk about spiritual protection, but um, when I say spiritual protection, a lot of you guys probably start going, oh, sage. I need sage, right? And yes, that's true, but I'm going to cover some non-traditional forms of spiritual protection, things that you may not have considered to actually be spiritual protection. And the reason why I'm doing this training is to help you guys feel more comfortable in your environment and in your skin, but also to educate you to be aware that everything out there is energy, right? So, you know, like I said, a lot of people are going to be thinking, oh my gosh, spiritual protection. She probably means sage, or she probably means black tourmaline or protective crystals. And yeah, that is all great. But it's a very, very broad subject. And so I want to talk about energy today. I want to talk about being aware of energy as part of your spiritual protection. It's super important, you guys. So, also, if you're here live, say hi. And if you're watching the replay, bump it up and say you're watching the replay. That helps more people see it. Whether you're on my YouTube channel, Spiritual Awakening Babe, or you're on in our group, which I highly recommend you join, your Spiritual Awakening community on Facebook. Um, so so when we're talking about energy and awareness of energy, to me, this is one of the most important ways for you to realize that you are the the gauge, I guess. You are the gauge of what's going on around, near, and in your body, right? So one of the most important things that I talk about when it comes to having your spiritual awakening and developing your gifts is meditation, right? But it goes a lot further than that when I want to talk about meditation when it has to do with spiritual protection. And the reason why I feel meditation is one of the most important things for spiritual protection is because meditation helps you start becoming aware of the thoughts that are passing by. Start becoming aware of how you feel when you're sitting in a quiet place. And when you start realizing how you feel, right? And I talk a lot about this in the Awaken program. If you guys haven't checked that out, check that out. Hey, Melanie. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Kim. Hey, Sid. Haven't seen you around for a while. So glad you guys are joining live. Um, I talk about becoming aware of your energy because and how you feel, right? Because that's clairsentience. That's your psychic feeling. This is what's telling you what's going on. We did a post in our group the other day asking how many of you guys have actually left a public place because it just didn't feel right. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about spiritual protection. And getting away from energy that doesn't feel right. Like if you go into that grocery store, it just doesn't feel right. You really need to trust that. Because what if then somebody like, right, Isabel's like me, I left public place. But if you don't honor your feelings, then you're walking into muck and you're getting your aura dirty, right? Your energy field dirty. And so meditation is that process of starting to become aware and slowing down. Intuition and awakening and psychic and mediumship abilities is a lot about awareness, right? So the more you can become aware of your energy field, the more you're going to be able to protect yourself when it just doesn't feel right, right? Another thing that I like to share with y'all about spiritual protection is you are like this light worker, right? Which means you're here to anchor down the light, which means you're this energy. Here you are, like this little beam of light, and you've come down here onto this planet to anchor down source energy, to anchor down source light, to anchor down love, to change the frequency on this planet. So that means that you are a piece of source, right? And the further away you get from source, and I'm going to talk about that, the less protected you are, and the more dense you are, and the more apt you are to have more ego or have more runnings in with ego. And the less you are to be protected. So the more source energy that you can anchor into your meat suit, right, into your body here, the more protected you're going to be. So some of this may sound kind of corny, but really you need to be drinking fresh water, right? And breathing air and doing breath exercises and bringing in the light into your environment. These are all forms of source energy. The more that you could be in, on, and around it, the more protected you're going to be because you're going to be vibrating. Remember, yesterday we talked about what is the dark, and we talked a lot about how those is a frequency. The more that you could bring this clean source energy through your system, through your chakra system, through your energy field, through your aura, and actually through your meat suit that gets distributed through your blood cells, your brain cells, all of that, the more protected you're going to be, the less apt you're going to be to have one of those creepers come follow you and attach, right? So the elements, right? You're also here on planet Earth. You guys wouldn't believe how protective she is. Like, how many millions of you guys already know about grounding, right? Like, I'll talk a little bit about grounding, but most of you guys know about grounding. That the minute you touch Mother Earth, it's electromagnetic field, scientifically proven. I'm such a nerd when it comes to exploring and learning and integrating into my life the science behind spiritual awakening, the actual science aspect versus the religious or the intuition or the woo-woo, and it all goes together and it all makes friggin' sense. I love it. So the science behind grounding is that you have this massive electromagnetic field come around you. When you're not grounded, I call it your windshield. When you are grounded, you have a windshield on your car. When you're not grounded, your windshield's gone, and all the bugs and debris could get onto you and smack you in the face and make you feel grouchy, right? You get distracted when you're not grounded. You have procrastination. You go from one thing to the other, and you just don't feel right. I mean, these are all signs of not being grounded. And when you are grounded, hey Annie, hey Autumn, hey other Autumn, two Autumns, hey Tracy, hey Sarah, glad you guys are joining. When you are grounded, you're creating that electromagnetic field. So think of this. This is how I want you to grasp what's out there, right? Hey Brittany, is think about Wi-Fi. Like right now, you're watching me live. How are you doing that? Because of energy, because of frequency, because of transmission from Las Vegas, Nevada on my mom's shower chair, right? In the middle of her bedroom that's almost empty now, to wherever you're at, right? Via these waves, these invisible waves. And so if you could be watching me live, right, via these invisible waves, how many other invisible waves are coming at you right now, right? We can see and sense 0.00035% of the spectrum. So everything's there. You just aren't perceiving it, right? But your energy field does. So, having said that, super important to be grounded, super important to protect your energy field because things are flying through it right now, right? When you're grounded, it's not. So, yesterday I talked a little bit about the advanced protection technique that's on my YouTube channel, Spiritual Awakening Babe, and also on our free library, brandoline.com, and I think it's /library, I think. But you can get it off of my homepage. But basically inside of that, and I'm going to just share a little bit of what's in there so that you can kind of grasp this spiritual protection, is that not only are you grounding through that technique, right, onto this planet, onto Earth, and remind me, don't let me forget to talk more about Earth, But you're also anchored to the highest dimension of source energy. And really how you do that is through intention, because you can't really see it, right? It's there, you can feel it, right? You can imagine it. And that's what it is. Imagination is your third eye. Imagination is your link to all that is. So really imagining, yourself grounding all the roots really deep, really anchoring into this earth. And then go ahead and with your crown chakra and go all the way up to as high as you can imagine heaven being, or maybe you don't call it heaven, source energy, the all that is, the frequency, the universe, whatever it is, whatever resonates with you, because it's got to feel right for you. And then you anchor that to the top. And so now you're anchored to the core of Mother Earth, and you're anchored to heaven. And then you just start blasting yourself with energy from source, and you fill up your entire energy field. You just imagine, and you can even imagine, like, is there cracks in it? Is it dusty somewhere? Because this is your intuition. You may think, oh, well, I wonder if everybody thinks they have a crack over there or up in there or around there, or it feels dingy around your knees or your throat. This is your intuition letting you know, like, hey, you got some dirty spots here. Fill it up with that light, blast it, allow the chunks to fall off, right? And then once every single cell in your body, turn it to this beautiful blue light, is what I like to use, the blue light technique. Once you have it all full, then make your energy field be like 12 feet around you. And then you get bigger and you get bigger and you get bigger and you get bigger, because the more energy that you can get, even though your physical meat suit is still that same size, the bigger you can imagine yourself being and your energy field. Sometimes I like to imagine myself outside of planet Earth with this core, from my root chakra going all the way to the core of the planet, but I'm way outside of the universe, and I'm like looking at all the little planets, and I'm that big because my energy field is that big. Super fantastic way to protect yourself, right? So do all that, and then you could cleanse your chakras. There's a meditation for that in the free library as well. But let's go back to Earth, right? So Earth is such a protector that also anything having to do with Earth is going to be really protecting, like the dirt, the soil, the salt. We talk about taking a salt bath to clean your third body, right? I think it's your third chakra, your third body, your astral body, sorry, that's what I'm trying to say, is your astral body. It cleans off any debris that's on that energy field, that's salt bath. But also cast iron, anything iron. Do you guys remember the horseshoes that people would put at their front door? It was like to ward off negative energy because of the iron nails that are in the horseshoes. So isn't it interesting that some of these old things that we used to do, and we don't know why, right? We didn't know why, but we find out, oh, it was actually kind of for a reason, right? And so cast iron skillet, some people, like, if you ever had a really creeper problem, throw that cast iron skillet under your bed. Throw it under your bed, because when I say they, like the lower level, the creepers, they hate iron, they hate sunlight, they hate anything high vibrational. So that's why I was talking about the water. They hate salt, right? And they hate UV light. Any of you guys with little kids that are scared, give them one of those little flashlights that has a UV light on it. And it, like, I know my old mentor was like, it burns their skin, and it cracks me up. But that's also a great way to help your kids feel more comfortable in their skin, right? And then another thing is making sure about your iron levels. Like, I don't know how many watching this have low iron or have an autoimmune disease, right? The lower your frequency, the more apt you are to just get around those lower level vibrations, right? Yep. Annie says she has a horseshoe by her front door. Awesome. Now you could set that intention that it's actually there for protection, and even though it was protecting you in the first place, now that you've put your intention, and it's just like, just blows that energy up. It's crazy wild. I love talking about spirit. So any of you guys have any questions, let me know, and I'll go through and answer them really quick. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about tricksters. We're going to talk a lot about tricksters. And so if you guys haven't signed up, go to brandoline.com/paranormal. And then we're going to talk about spiritual influence on Thursday. And then Friday, we're going to talk about some house cleansings and kind of like how, like some tips on some house cleansing. So if you're just jumping on now, make sure you're here tomorrow at 10:30 Pacific time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our next free training. And come join us in our group, Your Spiritual Awakening Community. And give me a follow on my YouTube, Spiritual Awakening Babe, and my Instagram is at Spiritual Awakening Babe. So I'm sending you guys all love. I will see you here tomorrow, and I hope that you are loving this. One thing that would be great if you're watching this, share in our group, Your Spiritual Awakening Community, a picture of your little protection tools, right? Like, let's see some of your selenite or your black tourmaline or your salt, right? Christy says, I wish I had a UV flashlight when I was a kid. As an adult, I did incorporate UV light in my bedroom since that is when I get approached by most earthbound spirits. Yes. Beautiful. I love that. I love that. So UV light is thebomb.com. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about, especially about tricksters or spiritual influence over the next day, you can just drop them in our group, and I can answer them on our live tomorrow. All right, so I'm excited. Yep. Because her daughter has creepers all the time. Yeah, let's talk about all that tomorrow. I'm so excited.